Good evening, good evening, good evening, my brothers and sisters. How you doing out there? I apologize. I had some technical difficulties. It's a bad storm here where I live at, but I'm back. I'm back. Come on in and get some of this good soul food, my brother and sister. It's still hot. I put it in the microwave and it's right now. It's on the plate. So I apologize, my brother and sister. We got a bad storm here and we're going to try to eat this good soul food tonight. And I apologize for the technical difficulties not too long ago. If this is your first time eating dinner with us, my brother and sister, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship basically from a biblical point of view. Welcome back to the dinner table, Sister Teresa. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship basically from a spiritual point of view. When I say spiritual, I believe strongly that God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve. Thirdly, God brought the woman to the man, and in the presence of God, the man Adam said, "Bone of my bone, flesh to my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man." How you doing, Sister Mary? Welcome to the dinner table. Welcome back, Sister Monica. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, but I threw that food in the microwave and it's right back out. So we're gonna get this good soul food in tonight. Hopefully, God get us through this. Okay, how you doing, T. Smith? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, I believe strongly that God's intent was for a man and woman to be together. From a biblical point of view, when you look in the book of Genesis, that was God's original viewpoint. Now, if you are believing another type of relationship, my brother and sister, you have what is called a free will. You could do whatever you choose to do. But if you're here at the dinner table, I talk about the relationship basically from a biblical point of view. God created the man and the woman. That's the position I come from. How you doing, Sister Flo? Sister Flo said that she's very hungry, so I'm about to feed you some of this good soul food, Sister Flo. Now, let me tell you this, my brother and sister. When it comes to conversation among men and women, especially in the Western world, there are two popular topics. Okay, that topic is getting the bag, that's money, and your sex life. Those are two popular topics what people talk about. Even church people, you know, even church people talk about it. But we're going to take one aspect of that and we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about the sexual part of a relationship. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister. When it comes to sex, sex is a very beautiful thing. Let me put that out there. Sex is a beautiful thing. Sex is very rewarding for a man and woman that are serious. That man and woman um, are truly committed, and that man and woman are in a covenant relationship from God's point of view. If you hear in the noise in the background, my brother and sister, it is storming here and it's lightning. So I'm letting you all know I'm trying to get through this dinner, but we got a bad storm here. So I apologize for it. How you doing, Sister Sherry E. Smith? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, like I was saying, sex is a very beautiful thing, my brother and sister. Some men and women, they do not want to talk about it, but I'm one that I would talk about it because God created it. But you see, man somewhat perverted it. Okay, so when people talk about sex, people want to say, shh, 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 shh. It's a right time and a wrong time. So we're going to talk about it tonight. What led me to talk about this tonight? Well, my sister Monica Kim Townsend Harden, she reached out to me and she came. I mean, she requested that we talk about this at the dinner table tonight. So we're going to talk about it. Those of you that are on the book, like and share. Those of you that on the tube, I would like for you, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, the like button, and the notification. So when it's time to get this good soul food, you can get it. So I want you all to know I'm talking on two different platforms. Okay. So if I call a person name out, those of you on the book, you may not know that I'm talking to somebody on the tube. And those of you that on the tube, you don't know that I'm talking to somebody on the book. So I'm letting you know I'm talking on two different platforms. How you doing, my little sister Renee? Welcome to the dinner table. Now, tonight's topic, as I have stated, What happens when you have sex with people that you aren't married to? Think about it. This is what we're going to talk about at the dinner table. And by the way, my brother and sister, since we're at the dinner table, if you have some comments that you want to make, go ahead and make your comments. And some of you could talk among yourselves, okay? You can listen to me, but if someone make a comment while I'm talking, and if you want to address that comment, you can address it because we family here, okay? I want you all to know that we are family here, okay? There go another light in the flash. But anyway, let me tell you something. Men and women think about sex. Men and women think about sex. Brother, don't think you the only one that think about sex because you have testosterone in your system. Even though women have estrogen, they think about sex too. You know why men and women think about sex? Majority of the men and women think about sex because God created sex. God basically gave us an appetite for sex. It's basically what we do with it when we come into this world. We can do it God's way or we can pervert it, okay? Now, when it comes to God's way, when we look at, I'm reading from Hebrews 13:4, Hebrews 13:4, Hebrews 13:4. It is written, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure. For God will judge the adulterers and all the sexual immoral. But man has other points of view, and we're going to talk about that tonight. Now, when it say this, it said the marriage bed is honorable, and God is the judge of adulterers and sexual immorality. I know about that stuff. I know about it. Like a lot of you know about it. Some of you brothers and sisters, you have committed adultery, or if you haven't committed adultery, you have had some sexual experience and you were not married. And I'm going to be the first one, my brothers and sisters. I'm going to raise my hand and say that I was into that stuff, especially before I became a follower of Christ. I got into that stuff. I got down in it. You know what I mean? How you doing, mother? Oh, now my mama just popped in. Now she finna find out some stuff about her son, okay? But anyway, mama, if while I'm talking, we're talking to Barbara Toomer. She just popped in on the book. Mama, if it's something that you don't want to hear, just put your hand to your ear like this so you won't hear some of the stuff that your son going to talk about, okay? But anyway, back to the dinner table and the topic, my brother and sister. Listen, men, when it comes to sex, let me tell you something, sister, when it comes to men and sex, majority of men, listen to what I'm saying. How you doing, brother Mosley? Majority of men, including me, when I was out there, one of the top things that we talked about is, when I was growing up, it was sports and sex. As you get older, most of the time men may talk about sport, getting the bag, and sex, okay? But you better believe it. Sex is a topic that we men talk about quite a bit. Now, when you get older and mature, you might not talk about it that much with your quote-unquote boys. Because let me tell you something, sisters. I need to tell you all this. I know some brothers might not want to hear this. I mean, some brothers know that I'm telling the truth what I'm about to say, but let me tell you something, sister. A lot of conversation when it comes around, say, like, let's take, for instance, if a man is single, how you doing, Sister Connie? Come on in, cousin Connie. When a man is single, let me give you a scenario, right? If a man's single and he introduced a woman to his boys, let's say that they at a gathering, right? And he introduced this woman to his boys, right? And let's say that lady, she excused herself to go to the restroom or something like that. And let me tell you the typical conversation, what men normally talk about when that woman is gone out of the way, okay? This is what happened. The lady is gone out of the room. let me put myself in a situation. This is a typical when I was younger. Okay, if I'm around some guys, they would say something like, and we talking now, my brother. We talking, my brother. We talking, my sister. They will say something like, you see, when the lady walk out to the bathroom or something, and they make sure that the lady is gone so she can't hear the question, right? So this is what happened. They'll say something like, "Hey, Tony." They'll say, "Tony, she look real good, man. She fine too." That's what men normally do first. That's how they get into this conversation. They'll say something like, "Man, she look good. She fine." And then they might look and make sure she's not coming back. And then they'll say something like, "Have you hit it?" That's what they'll say. Brother Mola know I'm talking about, because Brother Mola said fat. They'll say, "Have you hit it?" And some of you girl, some of you sister, y'all scratching your head. What you mean? Have you hit it? Are you talking about baseball now? What you talking about? Baseball, softball? No, we're not talking about baseball and softball. That's what most men will ask their boy. Say, "Have you hit it?" And then you either gonna say yes or no. Now let's suppose that the man say, "Yes, I have." And then the next question gonna be, "How was it?" And then the man may fill his boys in on how was it. And then they're gonna make sure that the lady is not around. Then the next question would probably be, "How did you do it? What did she do?" And all that kind of stuff. Those type of conversations come with a man. And then when a woman be about to come back in, we quickly change the subject to something else. Like, did you see Jordan when he hit the old 50? We quick at doing that. And let me tell you something, some of you brothers that listen, women do the same thing. Women do the same thing. Yeah, my cousin Connie say, like it's supposed to happen automatically. And then, how you doing, Sister Ingrid? Oh, Sister Ingrid, you didn't know about me and talk like that. But let me tell you something, my brothers. Women talk about it too. I know some of you brothers, you think that women are in general angelic, right? But you got to understand that women have a flesh too. They talk about stuff. And let me tell you a typical conversation how women do. Brother, listen up to how I'm going to tell you. And some of these sisters, tell me whether I'm telling the truth or not. A woman would she would talk to her girls about a guy. And they want to introduce the guy. She wants to introduce the guy to her girl. So let's say she might show her friends a picture of the guy, right? And then let's say that she actually meet the man, they actually meet the man in person. But a lot of time, women gonna have those sexual conversations with their girls too. And let me tell you, this is some stuff. I know I follow God, my brother and sister. You follow God, my brother and sister, but let's talk real, okay? Let's talk real. Women, brothers, they ask each other, "Have y'all had sex yet?" It depends on how raw this woman is. They'll ask her question, "Have you had sex yet?" And then let's say the lady say, "Yes, we had sex." And then women ask them too, "How was it?" And believe it or not, brother, women get into logistics. What do I mean by logistics? Women start, if the man is not quote unquote, that enlarged, they be talking about, they may use their finger to measure how well endowed the man is. If the man is not well endowed, they be laughing. They'll laugh at you, brothers. They'll laugh at you, but you don't supposed to know this. You understand that, brother? You don't supposed to know these kind of conversations. And then if the man does not perform to his capacity, how some women, they will laugh at you too, brother, because the things some women say, they want to know, did he go beyond 2 minutes? Did he do this? Did he do that? Women talk about sex too. So I want you brothers to know, and these sisters, they know I'm telling the truth. Some of them say, Sister Teresa, yeah, and then Sister Connie, yes, and Sister Tweets, yes. You see, they do. They talk about sex too. Now, since women talk about sex and men talk about sex, let me tell you this. When men, let me give you another situation. Like, say, for example, now remember the topic for tonight. What happened when you have sex with people you aren't married to? Let me give you a situation. And this is a typical situation. Let's say that a man walk into a club, right? Let's say that he walked into a club. This is the setting. He walked into a club. And then he sees a woman. And you know that men are attracted to women based on a lot on their appearance, how they look and how they shape. And when men look at women on how they look and how they shape, something goes on in that man's mind, especially if that lady wear clad outfits or she's showing her body, right? So what normally happens when a man, remember, a man have testosterone in his body. And remember, I said majority of the time, men think about, majority of men, not all men, think about that bad and sex, right? And let me tell you something, sister. Majority of the times, men could have sex with a woman or women. And a lot of times, the man's mind and his emotion is not there. A lot of time, it's a physical thing for most men. A man in general, sister, he really don't have to know you that well. He barely could know your name. The club setting. If he could persuade a woman, let me tell you something, sister. Let me give you some game. Most of the time, not all the time, when a man is in a club and he asks a woman for a drink, do you think he buying you a drink because you thirsty? Do you really think a man buying you a drink because he's thirsty? That go that thunder. No. Majority of men, when they give you that drink, they want conversation. But they want something deeper than conversation. That's why some of you sisters, if you one of those clubbies, my thing to you, you shouldn't accept no man drink. Because the thing about the drink, you should buy your own drink. Because when a man buy you a drink, he wants to talk with you. And majority of the time, not all the time, that man, he have scoped you out. And when that man have scoped you out, why is he scoping you out? He got plans for after the club. It could either be in his car, it could be in your car, it could be a hotel, you can go by the Waffle House or wherever, and he just wants to do it. And he don't necessarily need to have no long-term relationship with you. Sister Monica says sometimes people could have sex with you and be thinking about someone else. That is true. That happens quite a bit. I'm going to say something about that, then I'm going to get back to what I'm talking about. What Sister Monica said, that is true. A man and a woman, listen to this, go both ways on this. This go both ways. A man, he might get aroused to you, sister, right? But when he's having sex with you, if it's not rewarding to him, he could close his eyes and think about another woman. And then he does his Mr. Business. And let me tell you this, brothers, women do it too. If these women aren't into you and they want it to be over with, they could close their eyes and think about someone. We're going to talk about that shortly when it comes to soul ties and stuff, okay? But back to what I was saying. When a man look at you, sister, men are visual. So if a man is visual, majority of the men, they look at you. If y'all want to know the truth, just let me know you want to know the truth. When a man look at majority of women, one of the first things that come to sister and our cousin Connie said, vice versa. Women do it too. They thinking about sex. Let's get it out there. Out of 10 men, sister, out of 10 men, and I'm going to be generous. I'll be generous quite a bit. Out of 10 men, how you doing, sister and to be worked to the dinner table. Out of 10 men, sister, 6 to 7 of them just want you for sex. They don't want no long-term relationship with you. Now let me tell you this. We're going back to the drink part of the club. When a man buy you a drink, sister, he's not buying for you just because you're thirsty. When you go over to a man's house, when a man asks you, do you want a drink? Why do you think he want to give you a drink? You think he want to give you a drink and you just live 30 minutes away and you get to his house and he think you thirsty or you ran over to his house? No. Sister Teresa said, Brother Tony, no clue for me, but have been approached by a conversation of offer drink, and I bet you make hard love did not answer him. Oh yeah, they say little stuff like that. Men would tell you anything, sister, to gaslight your head, anything to get you on your back. And another thing too, bro, let me talk about some of the sisters. A lot of time, the mentality of women in general, not all women, the mentality of a lot of women is like this, brother. No money, no honey. No money, no honey. Listen to this, brother. No money, no honey. And what a lot of women do not realize is what they're doing. They're putting themselves in a role of a prostitute. Even though they don't be on the streets, anytime a woman giving her body for services or assets, it's a form of prostitution, but they don't think of it that way. They really don't think of it, but it is prostitution. And I said it at the dinner table tonight. Now, let me tell you, sister, something. Let me tell you, sister. Some sisters, when I said some sisters, I'm not talking about y'all, okay? Not talking about you all. But there are some women. There are some women that, and let's say the dating site. Now, when I say the dating site, don't say, I'm not saying the dating site is bad. Okay, let me put that out there. I'm not saying that a dating site is bad. I'm not saying that a dating site is bad. I'm not saying that a dating site is bad. But let me tell you, sisters, when you decide to leave where you come from, let's say you're in another state. And you decide to go over to a man's house or home in another state. And this is just a scenario. It don't have to be this, but I'm just using this as a scenario. You leave where you come from. You in California and he in Florida. And he pay for you to come to Florida. You're in California and he pay for you to come to Florida. When you come to Florida, do you actually think that man just wants to see you for one weekend and say he want to marry you? Majority of the time, it doesn't be like that. And it could be local. Let's say local. A man can meet you locally. And if he could convince you to go out with him, and you go out with him, and then I hope that you're still here. It's storming out there. I'm sorry. It's storming out there, my brothers, and it's storming my sisters, but I'm trying to get through this particular topic that I'm talking about tonight. I hope that you're still here with me. I apologize, but I can't control what's going on out there, okay? But like what I was saying, my brother, and like what I was saying, my sister, some of you sisters, if you end up at a man's home, if you end up at a man's home, do you really think, Sister Annie said rain, and we haven't had rain here in a month, but sister, it is pouring down where I'm at, and it's a lot of lightning where I'm at. I apologize, but I'm trying to get through it. Now, let me tell you, some of you sisters, when you get over to a man's house, and when you get over to a man's house, do you think he just want to talk to you about gentleman thing? He will talk to you for a little while. And when he talked to you for a little while, guess what? Most of the time, he's going to offer you a drink as usual, especially if you're on the fence, okay? Why do you think he want to put more alcohol in your glass than in his glass? Let's think about it. Why would he want to do that, sister? The reason why he will want to do that is this: to get you easy and relax so he can put you on your back. Brothers, why do you think a lot of women, they look at you for your resources? A lot of them look at their resources and they will give you their bodies in exchange for resources. Now, the question is, about being with someone that you're not married to. When we look at it from the world standpoint, majority of the people that call themselves in a relationship, Sister Blessing said, oh man, I missed 26 minutes. Hey, everyone. Sister, well, guess what? You probably coming in dinner at a pretty decent time because I had some technical difficulties, but welcome. I hope that I can get through this without this storm taking us from the dinner table. Now, let me tell you this. Sisters, you got to understand this. And brother, you got to understand this. When it comes to sex with someone that you're not married to, there is two things you got to look at. You got to look at it from God's point of view, and you got to look at it from the man's point of view. What do I mean by man point of view? This is what I mean. Man have a version of when they should have sex with a woman, and a woman have a version when she should have sex with a man. But does it align with God's purpose for a relationship? Majority of the time it doesn't. I have said this before, my brother and sister. Most people that you see that are married, they had sex with one another before they got married. You understand it, my brothers and sisters? Most married people that are married, they have had sex before with one another. So don't ever think that they didn't have sex, okay? But they did. So let me tell you this. How does it affect the man and how does it affect the woman when you have sex with someone that you're not married to? Okay? How does it affect you? Sister Annie say, tired of being looked at as a sex object by men. Sister, unfortunately, in our society, even when you look at commercials, most commercials, they use sex to sell because sex sell. When you look at things on TV, when you listen to music, sex sell. And then Sister Angie B said, what about my mind and intellect? They don't care. Majority of the men, sister, not all men, but majority of the men don't want no long-term relationship with a woman. There are only a few good ones. And when I say a few good ones, I'm talking about men that follow God. You understand? We talk about men that follow God. And when we talk about men that follow God, my brothers and sisters, it's either going to be a spiritual man or a worldly man. That's what it's going to be, a spiritual man or a worldly man. When I say that, what do I mean? Hold on for one moment. Looking at my computer screen, they went down. But anyway, let me tell you. When it comes to your body, sisters, oh, I'm good. I'm good. I'm coming back up. Thank God I'm good. I hope this part come up so I can get to it. I'm trying to get to it. I'm trying to bear with me, my brother and sister. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Sex affect your body. Sex affect your soul. And sex affect your spirit. What do I mean by that? Let's go about the body. Your body, my brother, and your body, my sister, let me put it this way, from a man's point of view. Like I said, most men look at women as sex object, not all men. We're not putting all men in a bucket. Majority of the men look at you as a sex object, okay? Let's put that out there. So, sister, this is what you need to understand. That's why I always say, sister, when a man come talk to you, you need to say a private prayer to God and ask God, what is it that this man wants with you? And if you ask God, what does this man want from you, God will give you the discernment so you could be able to see. But unfortunately, some of you sister men know if they tell you what you want to hear, you're going to hear it. And they go by based on how you communicate back to them and your body language. Most men have a way of determining how far they want the relationship to go with you. Okay, most men do. So if most men know what they want from you, let's say the body part. So you sister and you brother, you have sex, the body. Some men, they don't look at sex, they look at sex as a casual thing. Some women, unfortunately, they look at sex as a casual thing. But let me tell you something, my brother and sister, sex is not casual. When I was younger, my brother and sister, I used to view sex as casual. I really did. I looked at sex as casual. I was out there. A lot of you brothers and sisters, you all was out there and you looked at sex as casual. But there come a point in your life, my brother and sister, that you got to say, look, sex is deeper than something casual. You got to get to that point, my brother and sister. Sex is something more than just casual. It really is. So what happens to the body? What happens to the body, my brother and sister, it affects your soul and it affects your spirit. Listen to what I say. Once you have sex, my brother, and once you have sex, my sister, it affects your body. And let me tell you this. When we look at 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 15 through 17, again, at 1 Corinthians chapter 6, 15 through 17, in God's word, Paul is writing to the Corinthians. This is what Paul said. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ himself? Shall I then take the member of Christ and unite them with a prostitute? Never. Do you not know that he that is united himself with a prostitute is one that is one with her in body? For it is said, the two shall become one flesh. But whosoever is united with the Lord is one with him in spirit. Now listen to what Paul said. Paul saying, should I take my body and lay with a woman, or vice versa, a woman can lay with a man? You got to understand this. My brothers and sisters, when I say my brothers and sisters, I'm talking to you all that follow Christ. The Lord is in your body. He's not outside your body. And I always say to my brother and sister, if the Lord is in you. How you doing, Brother AREN? Brother AREN said, I learned that you give part of your soul to your partner when you have interior at any early age. Unfortunately, the more people you indulge with, the harder it will be to love others. Amen, brother. That is very, very true. That is very true. Brother AREN, he hit a good point. He's on the tube. Some of you, he's on the tube. And Brother AREN, a lot of other people, they're on the book. So like I said, I talk on 2 different platforms. But the brother, he hit something very, very important. Let me tell you this. Brother and sister, you got the Lord in you, okay? The Lord does not come out of your body. Wherever you go, the Lord go with you. You got to understand it, my brother and sister. This is some deep stuff. Wherever you, so a lot of people, you think, if you're a child of God, my brother, I'm a child of God, my sister, you think that Jesus is just sitting up there with his Father, right? Jesus sent his spirit, and his spirit is on the inside of you. Jesus still walking on the earth with you. He's up there in heaven. He's everywhere, especially if you're a believer in him. He's walking in your body. Jesus does not come out of your body for you to have recreational sex. So, brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. Everybody that you have slept with, my brother, everybody that you have slept with, my sister, like this man, well, the Gap Band, I'm not the Gap Band, but what the name of them? Not the Gap Band, but AREN Hall and Telly Riley, Guy. You all remember that song by Guy said, "You can have a piece of my love." You all remember that song? The lead singer, AREN, said, "Baby, you can't have all of me because I'm not totally free. I can't tell you everything that's going on." The main point in when he was singing on "You Can Have a Piece of My Love," brother and sister, everybody that you have sex with, it's more than the exchange of body fluids. Listen to me. It's more than body fluids. Even if you wear quote unquote protection. Let me tell you about protection, my brother and sister. Listen to me and tell me whether I'm lying or not. Most men and most women that have intercourse do not wear protection. Most men and most women do not use protection when they have sex. That man or woman may tell their children, if you got to do it, make sure you have protection. You don't want to get pregnant. You don't want to have no disease. But grown people that have sex, you exchanging more than body fluid. You got to understand that, brother. You exchanging more than ejaculation. Sister, you exchanging more than a climax if you're not faking. Sister Blessed, do you think men will wait for sex until married these days? Majority of them, sister, will not. Majority of men will not. There are a few that will. But let me tell you this, Sister Blessed. Most men, let me tell you this. Listen to me carefully, Sister Natasha Blessed. If a man see that you have children, listen to me, sisters. If a man see that you have a child or children, and he wants to have sex with you, and you say, "I'm going to wait till I get married," let me tell you what going on in the man's mind. What going in his mind, why I got to wait? Why do I have to wait? That other man that you had a child with didn't have to wait. So why do I have to wait? That's what men be thinking. I'm just being real with you, sisters. Steve Harvey wrote a book, Think Like, Women Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman, some kind of stuff. And he said it's the 90-day rule. Mr. Harvey, when he wrote this book, and there's a passage in the book about how long should you wait to have sex. He said 90 days. How you doing, brother Swagger D? Welcome to the dinner table. Let me tell you. Do you really think that the average man want to wait 90 days before he has sex with you? Do you really think that? Come on. Do you really think that? Let me tell you something. When a man take you out to eat, sisters, most men want something on the back end. That's why I always advise some of you sisters, I say this. Go Dutch. Or you tell him straight up, we ain't no do none of that stuff after it's over with. Because most men, they look at it, even if they take you, and I have said it before, even if a man take you to Applebee's to get that that 2-for-1 special. He wants some on the back end. That's why a lot of men these days, sisters, they only want to take you to meet, they only want to meet you for a drink, or they want to walk with you, or they want to exercise with you without going in their pockets. And then there's a flip side too. The flip side, sisters, some men look at it like this. You want to get in their pockets. So some men say, I'm not going to let her get in my pocket unless she let me get some. That's how a lot of men think. So it's a game between men and women. And it's the big thing is really pimping. The man is the pimp and the woman is the other one. And then you have some relationship. That's right, Sister Flo said the 2 for $25. That's how some men want to do. And a lot of men, they want you to pay for the meal. And then, brother, let me tell you that a lot of women, they just want to go out with you just for to eat that big piece of steak. That's all they want to do. They just want to drain you of your resources and go. You see, the big game is how much I can get without investing that much. That's the biggest game out there. But when it comes back to the body, your body, brothers and sisters, is the temple of the Lord. You got to understand that if you follow Christ, your body is the temple of the Lord. Because the concept said that's the wrong type of man. Have a clear understanding of where you want to be in a relationship to go. Amen. Now, let me tell you this. Since your body is the temple of the Lord and you're not married, if you're not married, like I was not married when I was doing that stuff. You know why I did it? Because I wanted to do it. I rebelled against God. I rebelled against God a lot of time, my brothers and sisters. I did. What happened when I rebelled against God? I became a father. That's what happened. I became a father because I rebelled against God. If I would not have rebelled against God, I would not have become a father. Now, there are some guys, you get more than being a father. And some of you women, the same thing too. What happened when you had sex with that man? You came out with a baby. And it's bad to say, some of you sisters, when men have sex with you, a lot of times they don't be thinking about no baby. What do you think when the average man, when a man and you have sex and you get pregnant and you come to him and say, look, I missed my menstruation. You got me pregnant. How you doing, Brother Joe? Yes, brother, you can have a plate, Brother Joe. You can have a plate. By the way, Brother Joe, were you not the one that asked me to talk about dating a single mother? Was that you? I got to understand. Was that you? Were you the one who asked me to talk about that? But anyway, brothers and sisters, your body is the temple of the Lord, so don't misuse it like I did. A lot of you brothers and sisters, what happened to your body? Your body, you carried that person. We're about to get to the soul part. You carry that person with. That's why I say it's more than the exchange. Okay, Brother Joe, it's more than the exchange of fluids. What if you get the package? What if you get the package and you can't get rid of it? What do I mean by the package? We talk about STDs. Some of the STDs can be cured by the doctors. But we got some stuff now, and of course, the AIDS stuff didn't go nowhere. The AIDS stuff did not go nowhere, my brother and sister, even though they don't talk about it that much. You know why they don't talk about AIDS that much? Because now they got medication that can somewhat put it in dormant. A person that has AIDS can have sex with somebody, and they think they don't need no protection. You see, the AIDS virus, my brother and sister, it could be in your body for years. Not only the AIDS virus, let's talk about herpes. That stuff you can't get rid of. Do you understand it, my brother? You can't get rid of it. Let's say, sister or brother, you go out on a date with someone and you call yourself, you want to be straight up with the person. And you tell that person at the dinner table, I want to come clean with you. Sister, how would you take it if that man say, I have that virus? Brother, how would you take it if that one said, I got the virus? They're more than likely going to be your first and last date. Let's say this. If you have sex with someone, and sister, you see some bumps around his, you know what you gonna do when you see some little bumps around it, or you see them leaking out? I got to be graphic to you because I'm trying to help you, my brother and sister, okay? Brother, what would you do if you about to have sex with her and you see some swelling, some ooze and stuff coming out? What would you do? What would you do? It ain't gone nowhere yet. The only thing they got for that package stuff is medicine to suppress it, so you could bear it. A person really don't want to be with you if you have that package stuff. Brother Joe said you get it deaf all the way. That's why you have to wait. AIDS kill everybody. Amen. So it'll attack your body from a physical standpoint. You can't get rid of it. Let me tell you something, brother. There are some beautiful looking women, fine looking women that got that stuff. Sister, let me tell you something. There are some handsome men that got six-pack and all that money. They got that stuff. You know why? Because man and woman, we get hooked up on the superficial. And when you look at a man or woman, you think that since they look good and they smell good, it's good to go. And like I said, majority of grown people, they don't put no protection on when they have sex. Now, let me let you all know this. I'm not advocating that stuff. And let me tell you this. I would like to say, I want to use the word fortunate. I want to use the word fortunate, but I'm not going to use the word fortunate. God could have let that kind of stuff go down on me in my past because I was out there. He could have done it. Let me tell you this, my brothers and sisters. You know, most of the time, men brag on how many women they have been with. A lot of men, they lie. But a lot of men, they out there. And let me tell you something too. It's a lot of women out there too. You can't just look at nobody. Let's say a man got one child or a woman got two children. You can't say because he got one child or she got two child, that means that they just been in bed with two people. No. Just because a person, let me tell you this. There could be some men that do not have no children, or a woman that don't have no children, but they could be getting more action than people that got children. Sister Monica said, my beautiful young lady, my beautiful young woman cousin died from the HIV. You see, that stuff is real, my brother and sister. And let me get real with you. Let me get real with you from the body. Some of you brothers and some of you sisters, not only do you have that genital contact, you have that oral contact. And when you have that oral contact, guess what? You don't know whether that person got the package or not. Don't you know, my brothers and sisters, that a lot of people know that they got that stuff, but they won't tell you? There are some people that want to get revenge on people. I can tell you this, where I live at right now, a few years ago at this particular company, there was this young lady that had the package, right? She was a very beautiful woman. When you look at her face, very beautiful. When you look at the sculpture of her body, she had it going on. You talk about a fine mama jamma, you know what I mean? But that's old school for some of you. But guess what? She had revenge on her. She went through this company sleeping with a lot of men. And when she went through this company sleeping with a lot of men, a lot of them got the package. You understand? A lot of them got the package. How you doing, Sister Mary Simpson? Welcome to the dinner table. Sister Simpson, we're talking about what happened when you have sex with people you aren't married to. We talk about the body part where you could get that package, you could get pregnant and all that kind of stuff. And we also said that the body is for Christ. If your body is the temple of Christ. Like I always told you, my brother and sister, Christ does not just leave your body when you have sex with somebody. But like I told you, can you imagine? Now, let's get to the soul part before we get to the spirit part, okay? Now we're going to the soul. The soul is the mind, the will, and emotion. Once you have sex with someone bodily, this is where, as Jada Pinkett said, the entanglement comes in. Once you have sex, everybody that you have sex with, my brother and sister, you got a piece of their soul or their energy. You got a piece of it. You might not recognize it. It's some people that some women that you brothers have slept with, and you got a piece of them. There's some men that you have slept with, sister. You had a piece of them. How you doing, Sister Jennifer? Welcome to the dinner table. You got a piece of them. Don't ever think that you just change your body fluid. Now you into the soul realm. When you are into the soul realm, you're getting bonded. You're getting bonded. Why do you think in the Bible it say, after Adam and Eve messed up, it say Adam knew his wife. When it said Adam knew his wife, that meant he knew her on an intimate level. So you have to watch when, brother, I'm not getting down on you, spiritual, bro. I'm not getting down on you all. But sister, you got to watch when a man says, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you. What do they want to get to know you? Why? What? But back to your soul, your mind, your will, and emotion. Women in general get soul tied quicker than men. I'm going to say that 2 more times. Women in general get soul tied quicker than men. Women in general get soul tied to men because men look at it like this is a pop off. A lot of women, they look at it as love. Brother Joe said, that's why sex isn't all that way good. Please say no. That's right, Brother Joe. Women, sister, let me tell you something. And brother, let me tell you something. Brother, when you have sex with a woman, when that woman, most women that let you sleep with them, majority of them, they like you a little bit. A lot of women, they would not have sex with you, but a lot of them think if I don't have sex with him, he might be gone. That's where some of you sisters, y'all get got on that. Some of you sisters say, if I don't give him knowing, he gonna leave me. If you hold back, sister, if that man gonna leave you, he was a man that God sent for you anyway. That 90-day rule stuff. Most men don't go by that 90-day rule stuff. That sold a book. Let me tell you about the 90-day rule. The 90-day rule is the woman is don't supposed to have sex until at least 90 days. That's Mr. Harvey point of view. God point of view is don't have it until you get married. So which view is more important? Mr. Harvey point of view, 90 days, or God point of view until you get married. I would think God point of view is important. Let me tell you about being a man. And I know, because I have been there before. When I was younger, I was able to do that kind of stuff, and my mind and my emotion were not there. Y'all want some realness? My mind and my emotion was not there. Like a lot of brothers, they could testify that their mind and their emotion was not there. Because the concept, that's a godly man will respect you in every aspect of the relationship. Sister Angie B said, I realize that now. Let me tell you something. Sister, if you notice this, a lot of times men are more responsible for the relationship than the man. Even though a woman is accountable, God holds the man more responsible because the man's going to be the leader and head of the relationship. Now, let me tell you something. Some of you sisters, have you ever noticed this? That the man, he be talking to you nice and all that kind of stuff, and you be getting those good morning texts and good night texts and how you doing throughout the day, and he doing all this great stuff for you. And then when he gets you on your back, and when he releases himself in you, have some of you noticed that he changed? Majority of them, they change on you. That's all that particular man probably wanted at that time. You were just a notch on his belt. Sister Angie B said, guys in my path were worldly, point blank, period. Some of you sisters, have you ever wondered this? When you had sex with that man, and when he didn't call you or text you for a few days, and when he called you and text you after that, or you call him and text him and nothing didn't happen, he went ghost on you. But then when he contact you again, he want to meet up with you again so y'all could do that again. Some of you sisters, you get caught up in that. You know why you get caught up? Because you done got soul tied. You thinking that you're in love. Some of you sisters, you think that when you give sex to a man, that's the best that's the most you could give to him. No, the most you give to that man is your soul. If you notice this, your soul, God wants your soul and Satan wants your soul. Now man wants your soul. And you get soul tied to a man. And some of you brothers, you get soul tied to a woman. You know why some of you brothers get soul tied to a woman? That's when you get to the point of stalking women. Because she made you feel good a little bit, or she did some monkey double backflips for you, and she just turned you out, right, brother? She turned you out. She turned you out like no other woman ever turned you out, right? So when she turned you out, you want to go get your fix again, right? Then you find out that she's showing you. There are some women that would do the one night stand and they will ghost you, brothers. It's some women that I like that. And you find out that she is with another man and you want to stalk her. And then there's some women that get pissed off at men, and they want to go bust the window. I bust the window out of your car. Jasmine Solomon, I bust the window out your car. Do a lot of crazy stuff. Do you all think that movie Fatal Attraction is just for entertainment? That's based on some true stuff. Do you think that movie that Beyonce and what that guy named Idris Elba or something like that, you remember he didn't even touch that lady, but she went crazy. Just imagine if he would have touched her. Soul tie. What is a soul tie? A soul tie, my brothers, a soul tie, my sister, is mostly after you have sex with someone, you get entangled with that person. Because let me tell you, God knew. That's why God did not want us having sex with no one before you get married. Because you see, unfortunately, when you have sex with someone, now you got knowledge. And you see, when you got knowledge and when it's someone that you have sex with that you really want a relationship with, you could somewhat be confused. Because then again, let me tell you something, brother. You could be in love with a woman. You could be in love with your wife, but you done slept with a woman or women. You could actually get married to a woman, and once you get married to a woman, she not making you feel good sexually. So if she's not making you feel good sexually, you know what you're going to be thinking? You're going to be thinking about that lady on the other side of town that know how to do that stuff. And you may find yourself going over to that other woman's house because your wife is not doing what you want her to do. And then there's another thing, some of you women that have had sex with a man, your husband might not be bringing it to you like you want it. And then guess what? You might start thinking, I know who can do it. I'm not going to leave my home. I'm not going to leave my home, but I'm going to stay home, and then I'm going to go get my medicine at the pharmacy on the other side of town. You soul tied. Some of you brothers and some of you sisters, you in a relationship right now. And if a man call you sister, even if you in a relationship, you're going to meet him. Some of you brothers, you're in a relationship with a good woman. If a woman call you, you're going to go where that woman at. And the thing about soul tie, they hard to break. They're very, very hard to break. Some brothers and some sisters, you are in a relationship with someone else, and you still think about a person that you haven't seen in 20 years. You still want a relationship with that person. Some of you brothers and sisters, you have got married to a person because that was the default man or woman. But you still think about that other person, you soul tied to him. The only way you could break a soul tie, my brother and sister, is by Jesus himself. Jesus is the only one that could break a soul tie. You think it's going to happen overnight? It's not going to happen overnight. The best situation, my brother and sister, to avoid a soul tie is when a man is a virgin and a woman is a virgin. That's the only way. Because see, if a man is a virgin and a woman is a virgin, they don't have no one to compare their mate with. So if a man is a virgin and a woman is a virgin, they learning together. But if a man have had a woman or women and a woman have had men, it's tough. And let me tell you another thing when it comes to those soul ties. That's right, Sister Anne. Be not many virgins today. Brother AREN says soul tie could be a big problem with the wrong people. Preacher spitting the truth right here. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you. I'm telling you, it's hard to break those soul ties. And then when you try to break it, my brother and sister, and you keep going back for more, all you doing is tying yourself back up into it. Coach, how you doing, Coach Devan? I hope I said your name right. That ship has sailed, sir. What plan B? Well, if that ship sailed, that's good, sister. But let me tell you, if you got a soul tie, my brother and sister, you got a soul tie to everybody that you have slept with. Everybody that you slept with, you got a soul tie. You might not realize it. That's why sometimes, brother and sister, you have problem in relationship and you don't understand. Some of you brothers and sisters, you go through successions of relationship. And some of you brothers and sisters, you think, some of you brothers, you be thinking, why I keep running to the wrong women? All these women want is my money. And then some of you sisters, all these men want is my body. When I'm going to find the right person? When? If you soul tied, brother and sister, you have to get cleansed when you soul tied. Nobody can talk you out of a soul tie. A soul tie is a spiritual medical condition that has to be done by a spiritual physician. The only person that can break a soul tie is Jesus the Christ. Because guess what? You could be married, my brother and sister. You could be married, but even though you married and you think you happy, you still haven't got that soul tie resolved. You might be not thinking about those people, but they still affecting you. You think that you find Mr. Right, don't you, sister? You think that you find Mrs. Right, don't you, brother? But if your soul haven't been cleansed, you still got those soul ties. That's why sometimes, brother and sister, your mind could be warped when it comes to a relationship with a man or a woman. The only time a man and woman can have a good, deep relationship is that man and woman, they got to get that soul tie broken. And when you get that soul tie broken, only Jesus could do it, which leads to the spirit. How you doing, Sister Mary Jane? It leads to the spirit. The spirit. And I have said this before, my brother and sister. When a man and woman have sex, it involves the body, it involves the soul, and it involves the spirit. What do I mean by it involves the spirit? Brother and sister, and when I said brother and sister, I'm talking about those of you that follow Christ. You have the spirit of Christ in you. Now, you have sex with a man or woman that is a son or daughter of the devil. Let me open you up. I have said it before. I'm going to say it again. Let me expose you to something. Most of the time when men and women have sex, they get isolated. They get isolated because they want they don't want no disturbance, right? And I'm talking about people that aren't doing it God's way. You're going to make sure nobody is not around so you can do the thing, right? So when you do the thing, even if you're in a relationship with someone, you don't want nobody to know about it. So you could be in a relationship with somebody else. You could be married to somebody else and have sex with somebody. Or you could be single and have sex with somebody, but you're not married. So if you have sex with somebody and you're not married, that fornication. That's where I come in at. I was doing a whole bunch of that. Then you also have the aspect of adultery. Adultery is when you marry and have sex with somebody too. Okay, so a lot of people are guilty of that too. Okay, but you're not doing it God's way. When you fornicate, that's not God's way. Adultery, that's not God's way. But now I'm talking strictly to you, brothers and sisters. You are not, if you're not married to a man or a woman, and you decide to have sex with someone that is not following Christ, you don't even supposed to have sex with someone that's following Christ unless you get married. I know some of you might be thinking, well, Tony, you was out there wild and now you want to be talking. I'm trying to tell you something, brother, because it's not the right way. I rebelled against God. Okay, I rebelled against God. You don't have to rebel against God, brother. You don't have to rebel against God, sister. But when you have sex with someone and they don't have the spirit of God, what spirit do you think they have? If they don't have Satan in there, because see, Satan can't be in everybody at the same time. If it's not Satan, it's one of his imp or one of those ex-angels, which is a demon. So imagine this, my brother and sister. You having sex with someone that is not a child of God. When you having sex with someone that is not a child of God, you bringing Jesus into that bed. Because Jesus is, like I always say, Jesus is not going to come out of your body, go in another room and look at CNN until you get finished. He's not doing that. And Satan is not going to leave. Or if it's not Satan, it's one of his demons. Now look at this. You and a woman, brother, or you, sister, and a man, you having sex, your body is coming together. You going in and out, doing circles and everything, right? And you doing all the ooh and all that kind of stuff, right? And the physical part feels so good, doesn't it? That temporary thing feels so good. Now you get soul tied. Men get soul tied too. The more a man have sex with a woman, eventually he's gonna start having feeling for. Some men, they get soul tied just as quick as women. So you got your body coming together, you got your soul coming together. Now you mixing the spirit. This way it get real nasty. When I say get real nasty, you taking Lord Jesus into the bed. with a demon. So you got spirit of Christ and you got a spirit of a devil that you're sleeping with. So not only that, don't you know not only do you transfer your soul, you transferring spirits. Jesus is not going to live in your body when you bringing all that nasty stuff to him. You see, your body, my brother, so it's supposed to be the temple of the Lord. Do you actually think that Jesus is going to continue to stay in your body when you bring those entities in? And I'm going to tell you this too. What I didn't think about. When I was wilding out, brothers, when I was wilding out, sister, I thought it was just me and that woman. When I was not married, that's all I would think about. Me and this woman. That's all I would think about. But what I didn't think about was God looking at me. I wasn't thinking about that. I put that out of my mind. God looking at me. Now, let's say that you saved by God and his son Jesus' spirit is in you. You got an audience. You think God is the only one looking at you? Some of you brothers and sisters that you got a man or a woman. You see, you don't want your man or woman know that you're sleeping with somebody else. Nobody want to know that, right? We think more about somebody. We think more about the person that we're in a relationship with catching us than God. Just think about that, my brother and sister. If you brother sleep with another woman and you got a woman in your life, you want to make sure where she at, because you don't want her to know about it. Some of you sisters, the same thing. You want to make sure that your man at home, he doesn't know about it. But that man and that woman, you brother or you sister, if you doing it, you make it get away from your mate. You make it hide from your mate if you're married. You make it hide from other people, but you can't hide from God. So God, while you having sex, brother, or while you having sex, sister, God is looking right at you. Do you think God is up in heaven doing Jesus like this? Watch this, watch this. They both looking at you. And you know why you doing no double or triple monkey backflip? You know what Jesus doing? Jesus have to talk to God on your behalf. You remember when Jesus was on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. Jesus have to talk to the Father about what you're doing at that particular time. God is looking at you, the Father looking at you. But Jesus have to tell the Father, look, I died for him or her. I died for them. They doing wrong, Father, but I had to die for them, the blood. So that hold God off. But what doesn't hold God off is this. It's a law called sowing and reaping. If you sow to the flesh, you reap of the flesh. If you sow to the spirit, you reap the spirit. And let me tell you who else looking at you. While you doing your thing, brother and sister, if you saved by the Lord, guess what? If you saved by the Lord, my brother and sister, everywhere you go, guess who following you? God assigned angels to be around you, my brother and sister. He got angels assigned to you. So, brother and sister, not only do you have the Spirit of the Lord in you, you have angels going with you everywhere you go. If you're at home right now by yourself and you save, angels are around you. You might can't see them, but you can feel their presence. They're around you. They are assigned for you. Now, just think, brother, when you get in that car and go to that woman's house, you taking angels with you. You think they leaving you, you taking them with you. They in the car with you. You can't see them. They riding along with you. Brother and sister, and some of you sisters, you finna go meet a man. Angels are with you. Those that are assigned to you. So you go into that certain location, my brothers. You go into that certain location, my sister. Guess what? Those angels have to watch you doing that stuff. All they need is one word from Jesus to take your life away. You ever notice that how some people, they could die doing sex? They would say that he or she had a heart attack. And then they would say something like they must have had cocaine, lace cocaine, or they try to find some kind of medical condition to explain why a man or woman died while they had sex. They're trying to find some kind of medical way. But do you not know some brothers and sisters that if they have sex, it could say, they could come back and say natural causes, right? How you don't know that God allow an angel to take you out, to save your soul? How you don't know that God moved the presence of his angels and let Satan have his way? Or God could tell the angels, let them do what they want to do, because I'm getting tired of it. He or she keep coming to me saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but they will not change. So God get tired of it. You see, some of us brothers and sisters, when it comes to sex, we think that we could keep doing. You know what happens when you keep doing that with somebody that you're not married to? You're going to get immune to it. At first, you're going to feel dirty. Your conscience is going to feel dirty. You're gonna be taking a bath. While you taking a bath, you think that you're getting that sex off of you. But what you don't realize is your conscience that's bothering you. Sister Monica said, we have to pray for generational curse to be broken from our family. I am praying for my children and my grandchildren, my family. Amen. Brother Joe said, good point of view. And Sister Angie B said, convicted. Yes, you are convicted. So God's spirit is telling you, don't do it. I'm going to tell you something too, my brother and sister. I have to share this with you. Before I got married, I was following Christ. Before I got married, I was following Christ. But I was out there wilding out. Now, some will say, okay, Tony, if you were following Christ, why were you wilding out? Because I decided to wild out. I could tell you this. Sometime when I was in the car, about to go meet up with old girl, the Spirit of God would say, turn around, go home. Turn around, go home. I would turn on the radio. I was trying to distract myself. I was trying to do whatever I could to distract myself. The Spirit of God would say, Tony, turn around. He didn't say turn around, or like y'all look at the movie and stuff, Tony, turn around. He didn't do that. He was calm. The Spirit of God called, Tony, turn around. And it was not my conscience. It was the Spirit of God talking to me. Tony, turn around. You know what you're about to do, Tony. You are about to go and you're about to fornicate. Sister Angie B said, same here, Tony. I was still in a Christian spirit was saying, don't do it. You see, it's true. Sister Angie B know what I'm talking about. So I'm driving. I get to this old girl house. I go in there, and the Spirit of God keeps saying, Tony, don't do it. She got this little skimpy Victoria's Secret stuff on. I could not wait to get it off, right? Tony, don't do it. I didn't get into all that kissing and all that crap. Tony, don't do it. She lay down. I get on top of her. Before I about to enter into her, Tony, don't do it. Don't do it. Then I tried to block the Lord out of my mind. Then I was sinning. I'm there in a state of fornication. Just fornicating. One thing, you know, I blocked the Lord's spirit out from my mind, just fornicating, right? Then let me tell you what happened. When I got finished, I felt like Sister Angela B said, I was convicted. I was convicted. I felt bad. You know why I felt bad? Because I felt bad because I disappointed God. I hurt God, my brothers and sisters. I hurt God. It was bigger than me. I hurt God. So I'm hurting God. I apologized to God. I said, God, forgive me. I said, God, forgive me. But you know what? You see how some people fornicate or whatever. You pray to God to forgive me, but what you're trying to do is pray that you don't get no consequences, right? But you know what? I knew I was going to get a consequence. So I didn't even pray to God to take away the consequence because he was not going to do it. I sold to the flesh. I was going to get some out of the flesh. I knew it was just a matter of time. Even though, let me tell you something, my brother and sister, even though God forgive you, he does not put his law aside of reaping and sowing. He doesn't do that. So whatever God, you see, the thing about it, if you keep doing it, let me tell you this, brother and sister, if you keep doing stuff with somebody that you're not in a relationship with, your conscience is going to get what is called seared. What do I mean by seared? It's not going to bother you. The more you do it, the less you're going to feel guilty. You understand, my brother? You're going to stop feeling guilty. That's why there are some Christian men and women, they move in with a man or woman and they playing house. You playing house. You intend on getting married, but you playing the role of a husband and wife, but you're not right in the front of God. So you keep living with that man, sister, or brother, you keep living that woman, you're going to get to the point where you get comfortable. And you know the messed up part about it, there's some of us Christian brothers and Christian sisters that go together, ain't not even engaged, and then go to public worship together. You understand that? Two Christian men and a woman, or a Christian man and a worldly woman, or a Christian woman and a worldly man, you get up out of that bed, you've been playing house, and you go in God's house with your other brothers and sisters, and you fronting. You fronting. You a hypocrite. I know I have done that stuff before, but God washed me. He cleansed me. I'm no better than some of you brothers and sisters that I'm talking to right now. Natasha Bliss said, I was the opposite. The more I did it, the Holy Spirit convicted me, and I had to end things. I want to be right with God. And when I obeyed, God began to bless my life in so many ways. Amen, sister. Cousin Con said, conviction of sin in God way of inviting you to restore fellowship with him. Amen. So let me tell you something, my brothers and sisters. What happened when you have sex with someone that you're not married to? Think about it. You don't know what God would do. How you doing, sister Jade Lane? Jade Lane. I mean Jade Lane. Jade Lane. How you doing? Lane. I hope I pronounced it right. I be tearing up people's name. But anyway, I'm sorry. But let me tell you, brothers and sisters, if you have sex with someone that you're not married to, you're setting yourself up for the okie doke. Now, let me tell you something. Let me let some of you brothers and sisters in on something when you in the right type of relationship. When you are in the right type of relationship, thank you, Sister Jade. When you're in the right type of relationship with a man or a woman, if you're doing it God's way, this is the key. Because God would like for a man and woman to be serious. God would like for a man and woman to be committed in the covenant relationship. God wants you to either be engaged, about to get married. He still don't want you to have sex. Then God wants you to have all the sex you want when you get married. But let me tell you from experience, my brothers. Let me tell you from experience, my sister. When you do it God's way, listen to me carefully. I got experience in this. Listen to me carefully. I shouldn't be telling you all this. I ain't gonna tell you detail. I ain't gonna tell you point for point now. I'm just gonna tell you. So I'm gonna tell you from my experience. If you, brother, marry a Christian woman, sister, if you marry a Christian man, when it comes to sex, you don't know what sex like until you do it God's way. The only thing you can get when you do it your way is get wet up. The only thing you can do is wet your sheets. But when you have sex with a man, sister, that you're married to, brother, when you have sex with a woman you are married to, it's more than the exchange of fluids. Your body is satisfied, but that's not the most important thing. Your soul is satisfied, but that's not the most important thing. The Spirit of God is in that with you. Just imagine, my brother and sister. Brother, you got the Spirit of Christ in you. Sister, you got the Spirit of Christ in you. Jesus don't come out of your body when you have sex. I always tell you all that Jesus don't come out your body and go in another room and look at the TV. Brother, when you are in the Spirit of God, Jesus is in the bed with you. Sister, when you had the Spirit of God, Jesus in the bed with you. So you, it's more than bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. You understand? It's more than that. It's deeper than that. So, so you got your body merging together. You have your soul merging together, and you have the Spirit of the Lord. So let me tell you this. When you are having sex the right way, God's way, brother, you thinking more about pleasing that woman than yourself. I'm telling you, you think more about pleasing that woman than yourself. You thinking more about what she thinking. You're thinking more about how she feeling on the inside, and you pleasing her body. And the same thing, sister, you're thinking about pleasing his mind. You're thinking about pleasing his heart too, and you're thinking about pleasing his body. And not only that, it's get deep. When you get that close, it's all about us, we, and our. You see, some of you brothers that got that 2-minute problem and you can't hold back, you won't feel selfish. Because most of the time, majority of the time, women can go longer than men. You see, a lot of men, especially worldly men, they just thinking about getting ejaculation. And some women think about getting a climax. But when you in the right type of relationship, brother, you thinking more than just getting ejaculation. You think about pleasing that woman, soul and body. And sister, you thinking more about pleasing yourself. You think about that man, soul and body. And you both have the Spirit of God. That's why when a man ejaculate in a woman and a woman climax on a man, it's bigger than the climax. And the only way you can know it, you got to experience, you got to be in the right type of relationship. You got to have the right type of relationship. If you don't have the right type of relationship, my brother and sister, you will never know what I'm talking about. So the only thing you could do, you wasting time. You're wasting your energy. Your body, brother, and your body, sister, is the temple of God. Wherever you go, he goes. And let me tell you something. After the sex part, when the physical part of sex, you might not even think about, oh, let me get up and get a rag and take a bath and stuff. No. You want to embrace that person. You want to embrace him. You want to talk to him. And let me tell you something. That type of bonding carries on into other parts of your relationship, my brother and sister. And let me tell you this, brothers, when you have the Spirit of God, you're not going to just wait until it's time to go to bed to try to be romantic with your woman. You're going to be doing it way before you go to bed. You're going to do a lot of just because things. And sister, you're going to be doing the same thing too. That's right, Sister Angela. Some men don't want to bond worldly men. That's right. You hit it on the head, worldly men. And cousin Con said, God doesn't intend faithfulness in marriage to be boring, lifeless, dull, and void of pleasure. Sex is a gift from God. That's right. Sex is a gift from God. That's what you brothers and sisters must understand. When you listen to the worldly men, when you listen to the worldly women, when they tell you about their sexual exploits and stuff like that, when they try to push sex on you, they don't know what they're talking about. They just talking about from the world standpoint. They don't know nothing about what I'm telling you about. They don't know. And the only way you're going to do it, I have been on both sides. I have been on the side where I was not married and had sex, and it went to a certain level. And I have been on the side right now while I'm married, and it's way more better than it was when I was single. Because it's a gift. God does not give a gift to a single man or a single woman to have sex. He gives you the ability to have sex, but that's not his will. That's your will, like it was my will. But when you do it God's way, your relationship will be better. And let me tell you this, brother, a lot of time when you go to bed with your woman at night, it feels good just to hold her without having sex. Because the concept, I'm not making this stuff up. I've been on both sides right now. Lord have mercy. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? I'm telling you, when you do it the right way, God's way is the right way. The world way is not the right way. I have been there for you, my brothers and sisters. Some of you are doing it right now. Am I talking down to you? No, because I was out there right with you. Sister Anitra, Stephen, the reason why we do that, Anitra, men or women, the reason why we do it because we decide to do it. We decide to do it because God give us a free will. We decide to do it. We don't have to do it, but we choose to do it. You know, that's what happened. And the thing about it, let me tell you this, my brother and sister, let me tell you this. How shall I say this? When you get married, my brother and sister, listen to what I'm saying. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. Before you have sex with someone, let me tell you this. It's an inside thing first, because Jesus made a statement. Jesus said, whenever a man or a woman have, how did Jesus say? Jesus said, whenever a man look upon a woman with lust, he had already committed adultery with her. So let me tell you this, my brother and sister, before a man and a woman physically have sex with one another, let's go for the woman too. You have thought about it in your mind. And when you think about it in your mind, you are already guilty as if you have physically done it. Just imagine this. Just imagine, my brother and sister. Just because you are in a relationship with a man, brother, or a woman, sister, let's say you married. You might not have physically had sex with someone. You may not have physically had sex, but there's a possibility that you looked at someone and thought about having sex with them. Think about that. It will be more divorces if a man could read his wife's mind or a woman could read her husband's mind. Some of you sisters, your husband probably have thought about being with another woman. Let's be real. Some of you brothers, your wife have thought about being with a man. It's a possibility. You know why I say it's a possibility? Because there's a thing called temptation. Brother, when you get married, or sister, when you get married, you do not become blind. Listen to what I'm saying. You do not become blind. Whatever some man or woman told you when you get married, you know, nothing ain't gonna happen. Yes, it will happen in your mind. There are many, like I said, it'll be if you just only go by, if you, brother, could read your wife's mind, or sister, you could read your man's mind, it'll be a whole lot of, it'll be more divorces than it is right now. I'm telling you, it'll be more divorces because you thinking about, thank you, Sister Anitra, you thinking about actually having sex. Let me tell you what happened. When a man and a woman have, before they have sex, they have already wrote the script, they produced it, they directed and everything before they got to that point. So you guilty. According to Jesus, you're already guilty, just like you have done it. You see, men and women think that when you have, the men and women just want to know, did you have physical sex with him or her? It happened before they had physical sex. So don't ever think, my brother and sister, that your mate, if your mate decide to do it, that it just happened physical. It happened before the physical. And it just like this, I said this, but I'm not the original person that said this. Listen to what I'm saying. You could stop. How you doing, Sister Fountain? You could stop. Well, I put it this way, you cannot stop a bird from flying over your head. That represent a thought. But you can stop that bird from building a nest. Listen to what I'm saying. You cannot stop a bird from flying over your head. That represents a fleeing thought. But you can stop a bird from putting some twigs on your head and building that nest. That means that, what that means, nesting, you're thinking about it. You are thinking about it. Let's talk about Jesus right quick. The Bible say that Jesus was tempted in all points, but he did not sin. Just think about how often it is. Brother, Jesus knows what it's like for a woman to come on him. Jesus knows. Just think about it, Jesus. The Bible says he was tempted in all points. So if Jesus was tempted in all points, that comes up on a fornication, since he was single, and it could be adultery if the woman was married. But Jesus did not do it. That represents the bird flying over your head. The bird flew over Jesus' head, a fleeing thought, but he did not meditate on it. You understand? If Jesus wanted to, he could have done it. Because Jesus still had a free will too. Let me tell you all about, you all remember Joseph, right? I'm not talking about Joseph, Mary, I'm talking about Joseph, one of the 12, one of Israel's sons. You remember he was sold into slavery by his brothers, right? Remember he was in Potiphar's house, and Potiphar's wife tried to get Joseph to sleep with her. She tried all kinds of ways to get Joseph to sleep with her. And when he tried that, when she tried that, he ran out the house because he did not want to fall in front of God. He did the right thing. So let me tell you this, my brother and sister. When it comes to that, you have a choice. You could flee or you can stay. If you play with fire, you will get burnt. You understand? If you play with fire, you can get burnt, my brother and sister. Let me tell you this, my brother and sister. If you are married, those of you that are engaged, about to get married, those of you that are married, there is a possibility. It's a possibility, okay, that, let me tell you this, let me be straight with you. There's a possibility that something can go down in your marriage. What do I mean by that? Sisters, you can't withhold sex from your man if you're married to him. Brothers, you cannot withhold sex from your wife you're married to her. I do consultations. When I do consultations, let me tell you this. Sister Nisa, why will a married man have a dating app and say he's single? Does that mean he wants to be single? Okay, Anitra, let me tell you this. Anitra said, why will a married man have a dating app and say he's single? The reason why a married man will have a dating app, to tell you the truth, Anitra, most men that have dating apps and they're married, they want to have sex. That's basically what they want to do. They just want to have sex with another woman. That's the basic of it. And then they'll lie and say that they single because they want to lie to a woman so that may sway a woman to give him an opportunity. And then there are some women that get on this dating site and then they lie. And let me tell you all something. There is this dating site called Ashley Madison, something like that. Some of you all have probably heard about it. Ashley Madison, something like that. This is for people that really want to sin. What do I mean by that? This particular website, I didn't look at it, so I want to tell you all now. I didn't look at it, okay? But I heard about it. This dating site is for people that are in relationship that want to cheat. It's out there, a dating site that really want to cheat. There is, and not only that, you are familiar with these swinging clubs, right? Swinger club. You could have a husband and a wife. They could go to these swinger clubs and then they have sex with other men or women. They get permission from their husband and wife. That's some crazy stuff. Just think of this, brother. You go to a swinging club with your wife, or sister, you go with your man. Brother, this man turn your wife out. Or sister, this other woman turn your husband out. And then they look at you. And then y'all supposed to have an agreement. You can't sleep with nobody unless I know about it. It ain't no work like it's not gonna work that way. Because if that man turned your wife out, she gonna go back for some of that medicine. Sister, if that woman turned your husband out, he gonna go back for some of that monkey dance. You can't play with temptation. And I'm going to tell you this, my brother and sister, before I get out of here. If you are married, if you are married and you have a pretty decent relationship, you will face temptation. I'm telling you now. Brothers, some men are going to come onto your wives. Listen to me, brother. Some men are going to come over to your wife. Wake up. Don't think it's not going to happen. Just because your wife got a wedding ring on, you think they're going to prevent men from wanting to talk to your wife to get her on her back? And then, sister, let me tell you this. There are going to be some women that want your husband. It's the proverbial people want what they can't have. You understand? People want what they can't have. Brother, let me tell you this. If God is blessing your marriage, sister, if God is blessing your marriage, guess what? People are looking at your marriage. Even though, brother, you sinful, sister, you sinful, but you saved by God. But God is working in your life. God is causing your relationship to go, brother and sister. The world is going to be looking at your relationship, whether it's in person or if you're on social media. The world going to be looking at your relationship, brother. There are going to be some men. If your woman is on these like Facebook or whatever, it's going to be some men that are going to jump in her inbox. I'm telling you. Sister, if your man think that some stuff is going on, they're gonna jump in his inbox. I'm telling you. Do you all really think that this means much to most people? It doesn't. It's a challenge to a lot of people to get with someone that's married. There are some women that their philosophy is, there's a lot of women out there, they don't mind being a side woman. There are some women out there that they are proud to be the side woman. Do you all realize that there are some women out there that they love being the side woman? And then there are some men that like being the side dudes. But let me tell you this, brother and married sister, don't think that person going to be loyal to you. I got to tell you that, brother, if you got a side woman and you paying her bills, you paying her mortgage, you paying her rent, you getting her nails and hair done, you paying for her girl trips, and she go to Jamaica with a girlfriend. You think she gonna be loyal to you? Some of you sisters, you married, and you got this side dude. You giving him some money. You doing all kinds of stuff for him. You think he's gonna be loyal to you? Just think about it. What sense do that make? What sense do that make? I'm telling you, my brother and sister, I have counseled some people that have went through this kind of stuff, and they look for loyalty. Brother, if you mess with a woman outside of your marriage, don't expect loyalty. Sister, if you date someone outside of your relationship, don't expect loyalty. But I know a lot of brothers, so they expect loyalty from that person. Why you expect loyalty from somebody on the outside? Let's say you leave your spouse, brother or sister, you leave your spouse and you hook up with those people that you had as the side dude or the side chick. You think you got loyalty in your marriage? No. Because what's going to happen? Brother, the woman that you used to see while you was married and you get with that lady, one or two things going to happen. Now, one of three things going to happen. You going to see another woman on her or women. She's going to see another man on you, or you're both going to get out there and do your thing. Sister, let me tell you something. If you leave your man and go to that other man, you looking for loyalty, one of three things going to happen. He's going to go wild out there. You going to go wild out, or you both going to wild out. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. Don't ever expect loyalty from somebody that you're seeing on the outside. Let me tell you this. Sister Anya said, once a cheater, always a cheater. Sister Anya, let me tell you this. In some cases, that's true. And then in some cases, it may not be that true. There are some men and some women that could have been wilding out there. But then there are some men and women that once Jesus get into his or her life, there's a possibility that man and woman have learned his or her lesson. And once they have learned their lesson, they could be, per se, faithful to their mate. It's a possibility. Now, there are some cases that You know, they might wild out. And then there's some case that a man and woman, they could actually put that stuff aside. I know, brothers and sisters, we had a long dinner tonight. We had a long dinner tonight. I appreciate those of you that came back when I had technical difficulties because it was a bad storm here. And I appreciate it, brothers and sisters, that you all came back to the dinner table. I hope that you all enjoyed this soul food. And let me tell you, this Sister Jennifer said yes, but they have to want to change. Amen, sister. But let me tell you this, my brother and sister. Those of you that are on the book, remember, I'm on 2 different platforms. If you're on the book, if you don't mind liking and sharing this video, because some people need to hear about where some need to taste this soul food tonight. And then those of you that are on the tube, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, like and share. And let me tell you something, my family. Let me tell you why I love you all so much. This is why I love you so much. Remember, I always start out and I said, this is the dinner table, right? What does family do at the dinner table? We as a family, I might be leading the conversation, okay? I might be leading the conversation. But I do not mind, my brother and sister, like some of you, y'all be talking to each other while I'm talking. I don't mind that. That's what family do at the dinner table. Brother and sister, if I say something and one of you say something and one of you brother and sister want to say something to someone else, by all means do it because we family here. You don't have to just sit there like this and listen to me all the time. I will appreciate it. But if it's something that I say and you all want to make comments, by all means, make your comments. And if you want to talk to someone, brother or sister, you all could talk to one another while I'm here. But don't talk to each other all while I'm here. You know what I mean? But you can talk to one another. I love you, brother, and I love you, sister. Really, I do. And you could have been doing something there with your time. But you chose to have dinner with your brother, Tony M. Toomer. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. I hope that you all have a good night. We're about to go into the weekend. I want you all to be safe. I will come back again, Lord's will. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. Thank you all so much because you could have been doing something else, okay? You all have a good night. Peace out.